Yes, so we back with the hottest drop in mobile sports gaming. NBA Infinite just dropped recently, combining card collection and a variety of game modes into a cohesive game. This game is full of competition and ways to grow, and today we're going to be hopping right into the game. I'm just going to be going through the main aspects of the game, a few opinions here and there, and hopefully some things y'all find helpful in your own gaming. To start off, there are 3 tiers of currency in this game, beginning with gold. This is going to be your main source of currency when purchasing players on the market. The next 2 currencies are diamonds and IC, with IC being the highest form of currency in the game, especially in aspects of purchasing bundles from the shop. However, there is a nice twist in the game as you can convert diamonds to IC at a 1-to-1 ratio, allowing for a much broader purchase power in the shop. Diamonds are relatively accessible in the game, and IC can be purchased for real life money, so it's a nice medium in the game. Now let's lightly dive into some players. As you can see in my first collection clip, there is a good variety of players and abilities. However, this was before I opted to invest my excess players in the market, which is an amazing strategy to get a substantial amount of gold. As you can see the difference in my current player collection, there is a significantly decreased amount of variety in players and abilities. However, I was able to invest more into my key players such as Paul George and Joel Embiid, allowing them to be higher ranks and therefore have better ratings. Which, speaking of PG-13, he is my go-to guy in 3v3 ranked. He's just a near perfect combination of offensive power and defensive prowess. So we're looking through his skills here, you will see a lot of things that would allow him to succeed in multiple aspects of the game. The truly amazing part is his exclusive though, which basically means he contests stronger and more easily and has increased contest resistance. In my humble opinion, this basically translates to elite defense and consistent offense. Next up, we got the big man Joel Embiid, and as the 76ers fans, you already know this is my guy. He is my favorite big man in the game, and I consider him an elite rebounder and consistent offensive playmaker. Not to mention, I feel like he is one of the elite blockers in the game. His exclusive essentially grants him more agile dribble moves with a really smooth 2-step and an athleticism boost. In my opinion, it makes it much easier to get around defenders or at least pull them into the area so you can kick it out to your teammate for a bucket. Last, but certainly not least, is Kevin Durant. He was an absolute dog when I first started playing, and his movement in game just felt natural to me. He was my main up until I got to around Legend in 3v3 ranked, and he is definitely one of the cheaper value players that can still take over games if used properly. He is a mid-range demon and pretty solid rebounder even at lower ranks. His exclusive grants him increased mid-range shot success following drives and acceleration moves. Those are my go-to guard, center, and forward and have allowed me a solid amount of success in rank, so I would highly suggest any of them. Enough of that though, to get into some game modes, what can always be appreciated about the game is they have a plethora of game modes such as 3v3 ranked, dynasty ranked, 11-point game, 3-point contest, 1v1s, and training camp in addition to the normal practice mode. In my opinion, 3v3 ranked is a cornerstone mode of the game. It allows 3 players to take on 3 players in a highly competitive 4-minute match that prompts playmaking, crazy nerves, and thrilling wins. This is actually an old clip I recorded as I have now reached the rank of legendary in this mode. I can safely say, although I have been amazed at some missed shots at times or questionable decisions from my teammates, I've had a ton of fun playing this mode. Here are some of the rewards you can gain from reaching certain ranks, and obviously as you go up in ranks, they get more desirable. I'm just going to drop some of my most up-to-date stats in 3v3 ranked. They definitely aren't incredible, but they are respectable. I'm always trying to increase that win percentage and improve as I learn more things about the game. Now to dive into Dynasty ranked. I'm not really a fan of the mode as I don't particularly like the camera angle and player switching, but it is so far from poorly made, allowing you to show off your player collection as you take control of a team against another opponent's team. Show off that collection and engineer the win. The 11-point game is basically an introduction to 3v3 ranked, where instead of a time limit, your objective is to get to 11 points the fastest. It is a fantastic place to begin and try out new players in a team setting. 1v1s are pretty straightforward, follows the same rules as the other game modes closely, but instead of any form of a jump ball, the first possession is awarded by lottery. Great place to practice your on-ball playmaking, where there will be nobody to pass to. I cannot really speak to the 3-point contest as I haven't really played it at all because I don't have the strongest 3-point shooters in my collection, so I haven't given it a shot yet, but definitely do not let that dissuade you and give it a try. Some popular choices are Curry, Lillard, Harden, and Cat. do with that what you will. Training camp and practices are pretty straightforward, as training camp will give you the basic introduction to skills you will use in game, and practice is basically a free lab where you can practice all the unique skills to every player and just shoot around. As you can see, it will break it down into a variety of categories for different skills. As you can see with Paul George here, is going to break it down to different categories, such as offensive categories, defensive categories, such as your dribble moves, your shot moves, your exclusive moves, and just so you can really get a feel for those moves before you jump into a game. Hey, step back, bucket. And then customs are basically you can match up with anybody you would like to and run games similar to 1v1s. Alright, we're just going to take a quick little peek at the setting where you can adjust typical things like sound and certain touch control aspects. You can even choose if you want to put on the hotspots for your player in game, and it just allows you to kind of customize it to your liking. Now, missions are an easy way to get a good amount of gold and diamonds by basically just playing the game, as most of the missions are achievable just by putting in the time and effort necessary to complete the missions, such as playing games and scoring points. They have two different reward systems, a daily resetting diamond collection, and then a more extensive kind of missions pass that can even grant you things such as player. And you will get more and more levels on this missions pass as you complete daily objectives over and over and over again. Speaking of passes, here is the pass, the MVP pass, which is also leveled by different missions, both daily and more lengthy challenges such as getting 300 rebounds or getting 100 assists and challenges like that. There are 3 different passes, the free, advanced, and premium, with the premium being the highest ones you can purchase with real life currency, affording you things like permanent outfits for your players and a cool looking avatar frame with a little MVP tag. So, Star Trials are an interesting concept, definitely positive. However, I am not completely sure yet if these will be a thing that reset every season or is offered to first-time players following your first completion. No matter what though, it offers you a guaranteed legendary pack, allowing you to choose between Embiid, Lillard, and Tatum. Furthermore, it also offers a substantial amount of gold by completing certain missions under each legendary trainer. So, the way I see it, a free legendary that you get to choose to your liking, there's not really anything that can go wrong with that. In this case, the trainers are going to be Harden, Embiid, Lillard, Curry, Durant, and Tatum, with the different trainers taking over as date passes in time. Let's get it! The Prime Collection is a kind of controlled gambling system where you purchase spins that will eventually give you enough shards to unlock a rank 5 legendary, in this case being the man himself, LeBron James. It is slightly dangerous though, as you aren't guaranteed to unlock it at all, and it would be best case scenario take 4 spins, which is a substantial amount of IC. Just keep that in mind as you pursue it. Probably my favorite function outside the gameplay, if I had to decide right now, is probably the hoop drafts, which require tickets to exchange for spins that offer you a player. Each draft spotlights a slightly different player or type of player, and they all have systems in place that guarantee at least an epic, and in other cases a legendary too, which is a good way to ensure you're investing and still getting a good return on that investment. These aren't the most up-to-date hoop drafts, as the current ones are a Game Changers Jokic Spotlight, Victor Wembanyama enters a game highlight, the traditional Team Infinite, and a star-studded pool highlighting Embiid, Lillard, and Tatum. Definitely allows you the luxury of kind of choosing what type of player you're going to go after, as in some of the hoop drafts you can wish list the players you want and you'll have an increased chance of getting them. So that's kind of their way of allowing you to kind of focus on what you want. Here's the closet system. The game has one where you can equip the different clothing items, Bex and mascot, shout out Bernie, that you have earned in game. Here are a few demos of the things you could equip, such as shoes. There's also layup effects, shot effects, and rebound effects, to name a few. Alright, hopping into the store real quick, which offers a wide variety of things ranging from players, to tickets, to coaches, to currencies. There will be a different spotlight as time goes on and the game changes, but this will definitely be a place you can come when you are seeking to improve your team. Like for example, in this video, you can see the cover Classic and Team Infinite tickets. Those have now since been removed from the store, and that is an example of a change you could see in the future. So if you see an offer you find enticing, definitely hop on it while you have the chance, because I guarantee the game will not allow the store to stay the same throughout the game's updates. Welcome to the lineup tab, which is mostly in reference to Dynasty because you can change how your team is set up. Like I said, I don't have much experience in this area as I don't play Dynasty. As you can see, I'm struggling to even sub players in, which by the way, I have now figured out is actually a drag motion from the bench. So, oops, at least now y'all don't have to struggle through it. And then moving on to the next detail is coaches, which are an absolutely huge deal because it allowed you to augment your stats both in Dynasty and 3v3 rank, kind of shaping what stats you want to increase to your own game. Finally, bear with me, this is the player market, which I have to admit is pretty in-depth as it includes things such as what players are being spotlighted in the hoop drafts, the current stock of the player with an actual visual, which is what I'm trying to search for here. And you'll see LeBron James comes up as a good example because as the game has released, his value within the community has fluctuated over time. So at times it's going to be more expensive, at times it's going to be less expensive, and that's kind of just based on the price that the market sets. As you can see, I made a little bit of gold, selling some players that I had just got from Hoop Drafts, and earned a pretty solid amount. And that is a good way that you're going to be able to transfer your players into gold to level up the ones you actually want to rank up. And that's just one way of doing it, but that is a good way because you could usually get more value for your player in the market. Also, a cool thing, it includes a purchase and sell history, so you can kind of look at what's selling in the past. You could also look at what you had bought in the past, at what prices, if you kind of want to get a benchmark for what you're willing to spend. It's just something that kind of allows you to track what you're doing in the market. Also, of course, not to neglect the social aspect, the game has included clubs where you can team up with other players as you all fight to become the best dynasty in the game, baby. That's all for this video. I know that was a lot of information. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that though and were able to pick up some tips for yourself. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, peace.